of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight from Chicago, the Tigers go for their third consecutive victory. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Chicago. And the Tigers and White Sox get together this evening in Game 2 in this three-game series. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Kirk Gibson. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. The Tigers in a really good stretch right now, Gibby, and really when you look at it, everybody's contributed.
Well, if you want to be a championship team, everybody does have to raise their level. They're doing it. JV, J-Up, Boyd, Romine, Miggy, they're all doing their part. All
right, now it's been an impressive stretch for the Tigers. Their last 7 games awfully good. How have the Tigers won 6 of their last 7? Let's take a look. There's a swing and a drive deep into right field. Garcia back to the track, to the wall, and gone! Saltalamacchia, a 2-run shot, and the Tigers have the lead. Breaking ball line to right field, gonna get down a base hit. It'll go to the corner. 1-run scores. Saltalamacchia will get the third. It's a double, and the first major league hit for Jacoby Jones. High ball hit to the gas to right center field. That ball is hit well, and that ball is off the base of the wall. Jones on his way to second. He's got a leadoff double. And he sends one in the air to right field. Backing up is Eaton, going to the track to make the catch. That'll move the runner up, though. Jones coming to third. He's the winning run. That's in the air toward left center field. Garcia lining it up. Catch is made. They're going to try and score it. Throw to the plate. Out of time. And the Tigers win. Ball, base hit left field. No-run scores. Here comes Iglesias. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Tigers have regained the lead.
What a night for Miguel Cabrera and a 4 RBI night for the big slugger.
That is right, and Kinsley knocks it down. A bullet for out number 2.
Woo. He's a ball player. Look at him, rubbing a little dirt on it. That's my guy.
Took it looking, and that is the ball game. And the score, 5-3 Tigers.
And once a weakness, did everybody notice how all those games ended? With the Rock coming in. That's K-Rod. In those 7 games, in the last 6 games, 2-0 with 3 saves, 5 innings, 4 hits, a run, and 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And beyond the numbers, Francisco Rodriguez has just provided great leadership, not only to the end of the ball game, but to the pitchers leading up to the ball game. It's just once a weakness has become once a strength. They certainly have raised their level of play, and they're doing their part. We're going to talk in the game about doing our part as telecasters and fans. It's going to be fun.
All right, let's hope that K-Rod is shaking hands after this one again here today. Game 2 in the series coming up. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with John Keating. In this one tonight, Matt Boyd will make the start for the Tigers in search of his 6th victory of the season. Stay with us. Tiger Sox, Game 2 next. Cellular Field tonight. It's game 2 in this 3-game series featuring the Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. Cameron Maybin back in the lineup again tonight for the Tigers, battling that sore thumb, but he knows his team needs him right now, especially with Kinsler out of the lineup. Here's how the Tigers will line up tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Maybin in the leadoff slot in center field, followed by Iglesias at short. Miguel Cabrera is playing first base, hit homers 300 and 301 in the Tiger uniform yesterday. Victor Martinez, the DH. JD is at right, up and red hot in left. You've got McGee, Saltalamacchia, and Romine rounding it out for the Detroit Tigers. And they are facing, for the Chicago White Sox, the right-hander Miguel Gonzalez.
Miguel's been on the disabled list, has not thrown since August 11th, 2-6, although he did have a string of 7 consecutive quality starts before he went on the DL. Tigers have had pretty good, done well against him when he was with Baltimore the previous 4 years, but he's off the DL today and ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons of the Chicago White Sox. You've got Melky Cabrera in left, Louis Garcia in center, Abisael Garcia in right, Todd Frazier at third again, Jose Abreu again at first, Tim Anderson and Tyler Saladino up the middle, Omar Narvaez is catching Miguel Gonzalez.
Well, the deeper we get into September, the more intriguing it gets. And the Tigers right now about as close as you can get to a playoff spot. In fact, they are tied for the second wild card position with the Orioles. We'll keep our eyes on the Baltimore game tonight. Meanwhile, the Tigers gaining a game on Cleveland, so don't write off the division yet. The Indians lead over the Tigers 4.5 in the American League's Central Division.
Yeah, they want to get that cut down, because when you play Cleveland, if you think about it, if you got 7 games and it goes 4-3, that's only a 1-game difference. So you want to get that 4.5 number down if you want to get in. Obviously, you don't want to go in by the wild card. You'd rather go in by winning the division.
Well, we are ready for baseball here this evening. It'll be Cameron Maybin leading it off for the Tigers. Maybin, Iglesias, and Miguel Cabrera, and a very humid evening here in Chicago. Maybin batting .323, was held hitless in the opener yesterday.
I thought summer was supposed to be over. Still hot.
Yeah, apparently not. Very warm here in Chicago this afternoon and now tonight. First pitch is fouled back. We are underway for game 2 in the series. Maybin 36 RBIs this year. It's been a fabulous season for Cameron. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gonzalez missing inside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Gonzalez mixes it up well, under 50% on the fastball, about 91, 92 miles an hour. Slider 87, split finger 84, and he's got the curveball around 77 miles an hour. The fastball, slider, and split are his 3 main pitches. The curveball occasionally.
32 years of age, out of Guadalajara, Mexico, Miguel Gonzalez. And Maybin takes one bouncing in. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cameron. Maybin has done good work in the leadoff slot this year. In fact, he's done good work really anywhere he's batted in the lineup.
Yeah, missed a week or so since his latest stint with that thumb. It is sore today, but back in the game, he realizes what time it is, wants to be a part of it, and do what he can do.
Well, he's run the count full now, 3-2. Maybin trying to get aboard. Iglesias waiting on deck. There's the 3-2. Bouncing ball to third. Frazier has it there. And Maybin is out, 1 gone. Here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. We mentioned it's very warm tonight. How about 90 degrees at game time? And the humidity at 55%. A little bit of a breeze, but a little stifling here this evening as the Tigers try and remain red hot.
Telly is down, but it's perfect.
P-E-R-F-E-C-T if the Telly was working.
Capital P.
There's the wind ruffling the flags out there. Here is Iglesias. Batting .247. He looks at a strike 0-1. Tigers have had to reconfigure their starting lineup with Ian Kinsler out. They are hoping he'll be back on Friday night against the Orioles. There's a chopper to the shortstop Anderson.
2 up, 2 down.
Tigers do have a game tomorrow, 1 o'clock game here in Chicago. Then they have an off day on Thursday. So I think the Tigers' thought is give him the extra time, give him the extra day off with the off day. He'll be ready to go. I did talk to Ian today and took a look at that finger. It looks pretty good. It could have been a lot worse. And you know he'll play through whatever he has to. He already has done that.
It will amount to basically 5 days off for Kinsler, although he is eligible to pinch run tonight if they need him.
Probably needs it.
Yeah,
played a lot of games this year.
He's gone every night. Here is Cabrera now. Big day for Miggy yesterday. And he shoots one on the ground to the shortstop. Hard hit ball right at Anderson. And Gonzalez gets 3 ground ball outs and needs just 9 pitches. Bottom of the first inning in Chicago. The White Sox facing the left-handed slants of Matt Boyd, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, pretty good record, 5-2. Matt Boyd is a young guy, came in to fill in for some injured pitchers, and Sanchez and Zimmerman has not come out of the rotation since. On a string, I think the Tigers have won 6 of their last 8 starts that he's started for the Tigers, and feeling good. You know, he's a kid that's learning how to. He understands that he has to have better command, working on that and learning every day about how to read hitters. But the command comes, you read the hitters and you're going to go deeper into games, and of course that's his goal.
So the 25-year-old out of Bellevue, Washington will go to work. It'll be Tim Anderson leading it off in the ball game here. Adam Eaton not playing tonight against the lefty. And Anderson swings right through it, 0-1. He's had a lot of experience, Anderson, in leading off. He did a lot of it when he was first called up earlier this year. He's had a good rookie campaign, 287, 7 homers. And that's in for a strike, and out quickly 0-2 on Anderson.
Yeah, he likes lefties too. 357 clip so far this year on lefties.
Now the 0-2. Little number right in front of the plate. It's ruled a foul ball by Tom Hallion.
That ball looked like it was on the white, didn't it?
Well, we'll take another look at it. We'll see.
From my view, is it behind the plate or on the plate?
Ooh.
Of course, Tom Hallion could see if it was fair or foul down the first baseline. I guess at that look, it looked like it did go foul outside of the line at first base.
Ball 1 outside to Anderson.
Matt Boyd, he'll miss arm side high many times. They're aiming for that upper zone, much like we saw Justin Verlander use last night.
Level the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boyd in his last start went 4 plus 2 batters before he was taken out. His pitch count got the best of him in that game. He threw 94 pitches to get into the 5th, but could not survive that 5th inning.
Yeah, all these young pitchers, they want to go deep. They understand they've got to do that, but you have to be patient. Got a lot to learn.
One thing is for certain, guys like Boyd and Norris and Fulmer getting a tremendous amount of experience this year.
And you don't think that they didn't watch Verlander and Sale go at it last night? You don't think that that's what he wants to accomplish tonight? Of course he does. The Tigers have a real good mix of youth and veteran players on this team right now, and they feed off of each other.
Ground ball left side, base hit. Out of the reach of Casey McGee. It's a leadoff single for Tim Anderson. There's the rest of that lineup for the White Sox tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Anderson leading off. Saladino batting second tonight. Cabrera's at left. Abreu, their big bopper, is at first base. Frazier at third. Garcia in right field. Coates, Narvaez, and Leury Garcia rounding out the lineup for Robin Ventura.
You want to keep an eye on Tim Anderson over there. He likes to run the bases. 7 steals, has been caught 2 times. I wonder if they wouldn't even try a hit and run with Saladino. Handles the bat pretty good.
Right side of the infield wide open. He cuts and misses 0-1.
Tigers have had their way recently with the White Sox. So if you're the opposing manager, you might be thinking, I'm going to do something a little different tonight. I want to be aggressive. You just kind of look up and down this lineup. It's changed quite a bit. He's got different ways that he can try and produce runs.
Here's the 0-1. That'll dive low. Well, Eaton in the ball game last night drew an 0-for. He was 0 for 5 in the game. He sits down today against the lefty Boyd. A couple of right-handed batters at the top of the lineup.
And actually, the Tigers have done a good job of containing Adam Eaton. He's a guy that really makes this White Sox team gel. They've contained him, though.
Now the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Another arm side high miss. Gets a little ahead of himself, rushing down the mound, trying to keep Anderson over there at first base. You tend to rush, try and keep your delivery time down as a pitcher. Unfortunately, the arm doesn't catch up to the body, and it goes, and you leave it arm side high.
Anderson 7 steals this year. Has been caught twice.
That was the weak move. That's kind of the set me up move. Maybe you want to throw over there 2 or 3 more times. Anderson is a base stealer, so if you're a base stealer and a guy keeps throwing over there, you start guessing he's not going to throw this time, and you think about advancing.
That'll miss inside, and now he has fallen behind 3-1. Boyd finished up the month of August in great shape. He was 3-0 with a 2.79 ERA. You know, trying to continue that here in the month of September. And Saladino rips one to short, fielded there by Iglesias to second, one, and a double play. Hard hit ball, and Iggy got rid of it immediately.
That was a bullet on a 3-1 count, but you talk about good hands. How about Iglesias right here? Watch when this ball takes a skip right at the last second. His hands are so good. He doesn't have the glove exactly, and then to deliver the ball like that on the money to Romine. Excellent play.
Well, there aren't too many shortstops in this league that have softer hands than Jose Iglesias.
You normally want to have your glove more straight up and down, but look there, he couldn't have it exactly square. He continued to put it in the pocket, secure it, quick throw on for the double play.
Melky Cabrera now with 2 outs. He'll shoot one foul down the right field line. Cabrera, a tough day yesterday as well. He was 0 for 5. But still, here in the month of September, doing some pretty good work. 360 this month.
Over 300 in his last 7 games, pardon me.
Justin Verlander slowed down a lot of bats yesterday.
And likes the lefties as well. Much better against left-handed pitchers, and he goes down on strikes as well.
That'll end the inning. First strikeout of the ball game for Matt Boyd. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Catch our most surprising deals of the year at the Jeep Labor Day sales event. And by Kroger. Back here in Chicago, we have inning number 2 on tap here as Victor Martinez leads it off. It'll be V-Mart, J.D. Martinez, and then Justin Upton. 3 ground ball outs in that first inning for the Tigers against the right-hander Gonzalez. And Victor looks at the ball inside. Now, most teams will play the shift, as do the White Sox, but look how deep the second baseman Saladino is.
That's outfield. You have to score that 9 slash if he grounds it out to him, don't you?
I would think you're going to have to do something.
That would not be a C.
Why would that not be a C?
It's too deep.
Okay. That's foul straight
back.
You
only give ground balls if it's on the dirt.
See, that's why it's just much more simple to just go 4-3.
And it's not 4-3. How do you put D 4-3, deep 4-3? You got to do something. Remember, this originated out of a manager's scorecard, so you have to make sure you remember exactly what was happening.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Victor Martinez. The right fielder Garcia is deep. V-Mart, of course, has power. He's hit some home runs against the White Sox. He is 1 for 15 on the trip, though, trying to get it going. He'll go back into the dugout.
White Sox have been pounding Victor in quite a bit, prodding him, getting the ball in on his hands. Sometimes as a hitter you just drift a little bit and you have a harder time with the balls on the middle part of the plate inside. The White Sox doing a good job of recognizing that. That sets up the pitch away.
Swing and a miss. And he got him on strikes. First strikeout of the game for Gonzalez. And we'll bring up J.D. Martinez. 317 for J.D. was 0 for 4 yesterday. Tigers lineup is just so deep, even with Castellanos out and Kinsler out.
It really is, and if they get both of those back, it'll be even deeper. The bench will get deeper as well. But just looking at this lineup, if you're an opposing manager, as hot as the middle of the lineup has been, the table setters at the top, you get down to JD and then Justin Upton, who's the hottest. I don't know, is he hotter than Miggy? Probably not. But tonight behind him he has Casey McGee, salty bromine protecting him. So if you're Robin Ventura, you may think Casey McGee might be a target of the path of least resistance tonight in any given situation.
Very diplomatically put. And I would say that when you're looking at Upton, as hot as he has been recently, it'd just be borderline nuts to pitch to him. But we'll see. Here's the 1-1. Down the right field line, slicing though. Souvenir, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The home run that Justin hit last night, which I'm sure will show somewhere throughout the telecast, is just almost unbelievable. And what a great call, by the way.
Thank you.
That was awesome. That is a really good call. We'll listen to it again.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss, and JD is out of there. Couple of strikeouts now for Gonzalez. He's retired 5 in a row.
Utilizing the high fastball again on the finish. He throws a lot of off-speed pitches, establishes the off-speed to the hitter, and then he's sneaky. He's up around 92 miles an hour, so he knows what he's doing.
Gonzalez was on the DL in mid-August with a groin strain, and now he'll take his chances here against Justin Upton with 2 outs. And Upton looks at a strike right at the knees. Jay Up now has hit safely in 12 of his last 15. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 now on Upton.
Many times you get a guy like Justin Upton who's so hot, he'll do something in the first at bat, your first encounter as an opponent, to try and get him thinking a different way to try and set up maybe a way to wiggle out later in the game. Lots off speed.
Bounce again. Narvaez able to block it.
That's 2 off speed in a row. They'll see if he goes with that high fastball again.
Upton on the road trip has had 5 hits, 3 of them homers and 1 double. Shot in the air to center field. It'll drop. Base hit. 2-out single for Justin Upton. The Chevy Silverado most dependable player is Justin Upton as he remains red hot. Look at the numbers the first 115 games compared to his last 2 weeks.
Well, the last 2 weeks is more of what everybody expected of J-Up. Unrealistic to expect that for a whole year, but certainly did not give up after getting off to a slow start and has found his groove, making his contribution. I don't think when he was a younger kid he would be able to recover, but good job, stayed calm, played hard every day, and it's all working.
Casey McGee was called back up from AAA Toledo. The Tigers added a few more names to the roster. Of course, Machado yesterday. Stephen Moya is up. McGee is up. Casey this year, between a couple stops here in Detroit, .232 with 1 RBI. And before he went back down, he was playing some tremendous third base for the Tigers. Fouled back out of play, 0-2.
That's an understatement. All this Tigers team has come together very well here at the end of the year. They have much more depth. They have many more options, versatility all around the diamond. Their depth has paid off at starting pitcher position and in the bullpen. And the bench has become much stronger as well.
Now Gonzalez with the 0-2. It misses high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If you watch Gonzalez, he is slide stepping from time to time. The last pitch was a high leg kick. If you can pick one of those, you can get a bag. So as a hitter and a first base coach down there, you want to look and see if you can see the key that you can tell what way he's going to go. That's high.
Broken bat, ground ball to the outfield. Grass Anderson's throw in time for the out. A stretch there by Abreu as well. How about that play?
He knew where to go. He didn't go to second. J.Up got down there quick, and across the diamond he goes. Casey McGee hustling. We'll be back.
Jose Abreu will start things off here in the bottom of the second. We are scoreless as Matt Boyd goes back to work, and he delivers a strike to Abreu. .293 average for the cleanup man for the Sox. He was 1 for 4 with a walk yesterday. Pops that one up foul, back out of play.
One of the things with Matt Boyd, you'll see he's going to get a lot of early strikes. One of the things he does when he gets ahead or just gets a strike, he seems to nibble a little bit. Could be much more effective at getting deeper into the games if he can follow that up, stay more around the zone. If you're closer to the zone, you're going to entice more swings out of the zone.
Ball high, and the count goes 1-2.
When you have good command like Justin Verlander we saw last night, these guys, they do plot 2 pitches ahead, but they know they have that pinpoint control. When you're a little younger, it's not that way.
Abreu, Frazier, Garcia, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Chicago. RBIs for Abreu in just a few games, 4 games here in the month of September. And he'll look at a ball low. That one fooled him a bit. He was out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers come into play tonight. 13 over at 75 and 62. Fouled away again. Boyd getting the call tonight here in game 2 following the gem that Verlander threw yesterday in game 1. The Tigers had to go extra innings to win it, though.
In the second half, the Tigers pitching overall has been excellent.
A lot of heroes, and we touched on them on our open tonight. But when you, I guess, look at the nuts and bolts, it all starts with the pitching. And of course, the Tigers will be getting Jordan Zimmerman back this weekend against the Orioles. But Verlander's numbers, how about 11 punch-outs yesterday?
We saw many of them in that open. Good job on the open by our guys.
Another foul by Abreu.
Love to watch good positive highlights. Everybody does. When I was the manager, I found that it was a really effective way to get your point across. They really were open and receptive to that. As compared to shoving a bunch of numbers at him, because when the statistical sabermetrics started to come out
that one is going to go, and it's not going to come back. A long home run for Abreu, and Chicago has the lead. That'll be his 23rd of the year. It sets off the fireworks. There are no doubters, and then there are no doubters.
This is just a hanging breaking ball, it looks like. You see it just kind of a spinner right down the heart of the plate. Abreu has been so hot lately. He doesn't miss it.
Abreu fouled off 5 pitches in that at bat. And he got a little breaking ball he could handle and crushed it.
Well, that's the advantage. That's why you want to stay alive. You get a couple of strikes on you. The more pitches you see, obviously, the better you're going to see the pitcher and where his release point is and what he's got. And eventually a pitcher may hang one, as Matt Boyd did, and out of the park.
One ball, 1 strike on Frazier. Swing and a miss. Todd Frazier walked in the ball game yesterday, ending up 1 for 4. 35 home runs this year for Frazier, despite a very low batting average of .218. And he tried to fight that one up, but swings and misses. Salty throws him out.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Left to right, Jay up, Cam Maben, and J.D. Martinez again. Casey McGeehan at third tonight with Iglesias and Romine up the middle. Miguel Cabrera still at first base, continues to play on. Salty behind the dish, and he's catching Matt Boyd tonight.
Here is Avisail Garcia. Brett was talking about Garcia before the game. They talk about trying to stop Eaton, which they have done in the last couple of games. But Garcia this year has done some pretty good damage against the Tigers. 4 home runs against Detroit this year.
Yeah, he has 10 home runs, so 4 against the Tigers, only hitting .244. Something about playing against your ex-team, I guess.
Almost 100 points higher against the Tigers than the rest of Major League Baseball. Bouncing ball foul, third base side.
Yeah, I'm doing the defense here, laying out with the Tigers and their defenders in many different ways that Brad Ausmus can go every night. The one thing that's been consistent as of late, they started kind of slow in the year, now second in the league in errors. They're that good. They're right behind the #1 team. It's pretty good. It makes your pitching a lot better.
Well, you know, you asked me the question before the game. You said, where does our defense rank in the league? And I kind of went through the early part of the season where the Tigers struggled, and my answer was probably middle of the pack at best. And then when you told me they're second, it was a bit of a surprise. But there's one of the big reasons why. Kinsler's solid at second.
Actually, they're tied with Houston at .988 fielding percentage, the top of the American League.
Garcia rifles another one to center field, a 1-out single. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Go, Gibby.
You go.
No, you go.
Be generous.
No, you go.
I'll take Jay up, the hot guy.
Oh.
Now you're going to laugh at me?
Yes.
And you're going to take Miggy.
You can't take Jay
Truck
up.
goes last.
I'm going to take Miggy.
And how about the truck?
We're waiting. They're deliberating as we speak.
This is a group decision made.
That's why it takes so long. Jason Coates, the batter, with 1 on, 1 out, a run in for Chicago. Swing and a miss.
Truck's going with JD.
They are. The selection has been made, so you've got 3 big boppers. You've got Jay up, I got Miggy, and they've got JD.
You know what always happens, don't you?
No, what?
The unthinkable. So we're probably all wrong. Somebody's going to step up, though. That's the way it's been going.
Little chopper back up the middle. Iglesias, underhand toss to second. 1, and another double play turned by the Tigers infield. 1 run and the home run by Abreu. Lead in this one. Jared Saltalamacchia will lead things off for the Tigers. MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on the Tigers offense the last 4 games.
You can see the starter's not bad, but the bullpen, they've been tearing it up, and that's usually hard to do. A lot of matching up goes on when you're facing the bullpen. Tigers are hot when it gets late in the game. They've got a lot of grit, a lot of determination right now, and a good feel. And they've been finishing games very well.
Salty 12 homers this year, 186 batting average. And like Victor Martinez, they play him to pull a severe shift to the right side. And Salty's got himself a 2-0 count. Tigers have only one hit so far, the Upton single in the second.
Watch the off speed here.
Driven in the air toward left field. It is slicing away from Cabrera, and it's going to go foul. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You may notice many times I think off speed, as many pitchers throw backwards in counts, 2-0 counts. It's either off speed or fastball away, which in general you don't want to swing at those pitches. I always like to sit on an off speed pitch, especially if it was up and elevated.
Ground ball to first. Right there is Abreu, and the pitcher Gonzalez will cover. 1 gone.
Because any way you look at it, the fastball's 92 plus. You get a curveball or a changeup, something that's in the 80s, so it's coming in much slower. If it's up in the zone, it elevates itself. Makes sense?
Perfect sense. Here is Romine. Andrew at 229 was 0 for 5 yesterday, but he did hit a couple of balls hard.
I will say many players like Alan Trammell, didn't look for a fastball, but he's a much better hitter, so you can do that. I was a guy who kind of had to cheat situations and guess a little more.
Ball 1 in the dirt to Romine. Well, the Tigers in the ball game yesterday got a couple of early runs, but they were shut down by Chris Sale the rest of the way until they got to the bullpen in the 11th. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How about the job and how valuable Andrew Romine has been to this club this year? Played in 5 of his last 7. Done an excellent job defensively. Could play anywhere. And I want everybody that's watching
swing and a miss
to think about all the positions. He's played everywhere but pitch, catch, and left field. Everybody think, what position has he played the most in? Now, I played this on you.
You did, and I got it wrong. It surprised me. The answer did surprise me. The 1-2 is in tight.
He's played the most games at center field.
And I thought for sure it would be third base with all the times that he was able to spell Castellanos late in games.
The numbers reflect it.
Oh, that's going to hit him, and Romine will take his base.
They tried to get the swing there. You always worry about when somebody gets hit this time of the year. We were just talking about how valuable he is. Gets it on the thigh, which is a lot of meat, a lot of muscle. Those usually aren't too severe. He did not swing. Says Adam Hamari down there at third base. So the Tigers have a runner.
And they've got Cameron Maybin now, who bounced out to start the ball game. 0 for 1. Fouled off 0-1. You know, you're talking about the importance of Andrew Romine and his ability to play all those different positions. It's one thing to be able to play anywhere on the field, but it's another thing to play those positions well.
No, he's good, and you imagine the mindset that it takes to be able to do that. Not many can do it. He's always calm. You see him in the locker room. Always has the same demeanor you see on the field, just well prepared and has confidence to do the job.
Inside to Maybin. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trying to clip another one of us. Of course, one of the things when you get your hitters hit 1 or 2 times, or somebody yell out of the dugout, "We got one too." Across the diamond, meaning we can throw inside too. Oh, we might clip you too.
You mean there's actually chatter that goes on in the dugout?
Some better than others. Some games better than others. Probably not as much as it's not allowed as much in this era of the game, but they still get pretty heated at times.
Maben waits on the 1-1. He'll take it high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Gonzalez doing a good job there. His times to home plate are very quick. Be very hard to steal. Good hole over there on the right side, as you can see. Between the first and second baseman, a hit and run may be in order.
Let's see if Romine's on the move here. Runner holds. 2-1 is sliced to right field, sinking, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Garcia thought about trying to make a play on that ball, but backed off. 2 on now with 1 out. Hey, this Friday at 7:10 p.m. the Tigers host the Orioles. First 10,000 fans get a commemorative Justin Verlander 2000th strikeout figurine. Call 866-66-Tiger. Buy with no fees at the Comerica Park box office or visit tigers.com. Here's JV, another outstanding outing yesterday. He'll be on display this weekend at Comerica against the Orioles. That'll be a fun series. Here is Iglesias now, 2 on 1 out. And Iggy looks at a ball inside 1-0.
This would be a good one right here. Hit and run, first and second. Lots of strikes as well. 25 out of 41. This is probably not something where the Tigers would run, but it's a good situation for it.
Bounce again, and the count goes 2-0. And Gonzalez starting to dig a hole now.
Yeah, 1-0 off speed.
Gonzalez, prior to going on the disabled list in mid-August, had 7 really good starts in a row. A stretch in which his ERA was 2.76, and then the DL stint.
Did he get the outside fastball?
And he missed with it. Now it's 3-0.
That's 2 times. I think it was Casey McGee had, or it was Salty. They had the 2-0 count. He went fastball away. So we'll keep an eye on that if that's what he's going to do. We'll go to school and be ready for it.
He's got the rather large shadow of Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Iglesias looks at a strike. He was headed to first base. It looked a touch high. Tom Hallion called him back.
Now, if you do get a 3-2 count, you might want to think about putting the runners in motion. That's right at the top of the zone. However, a pretty good frame back there for Narvaez.
Fouled away. Now it is 3-2. Gonzalez started this jam by hitting the number 9 hitter. Romine, he had 2 strikes on him. Ended up hitting him, and then Maben singled to right field. Garcia, the right fielder, very shallow. Here's the 3-2 to right field and shallow, and Garcia had him played perfectly. They might get a double play, and they do. Maben is doubled up at first base. That didn't end well. Inning over. No runs, a hit batter. And 1 man left. Javi Garcia turns 2. Abreu home run has given the White Sox the lead. Hopefully the Astros can continue to take it to the Indians. Double play ball, though, ended a possible big inning for the Tigers. That ball slammed to right center, but caught by Maven.
Yeah, always need a little help.
Narvaez is on.
Well, we're going to go back to that last play, 3-2 count. Look at Cam Maven. I don't know if he loses the ball or not. This is a mistake. You never want to get doubled off. He was not running on the play, just ventured off too far. And Garcia with the strong throw. He was playing shallow. I'm not sure whether Cam realized that or not. But remember who's on deck right here? Miguel Cabrera. That really makes it hurt.
Yeah, and the count was 3-0 on Iglesias, and it looked like it had the makings of a big inning. Strike one is called on Leury Garcia.
You're going to make mistakes. I mean, you got to overcome them. Everybody knows that hurts, but we move on.
That was the 41st outfield assist of the year for the Sox. 41 of them.
Oh.
Look out. And that ball comes whistling into the seats.
Now, if that ball's coming at you, what do? Do you take your hat off, or you carry a glove, or you just barehanded?
I duck. It's
what if your wife's sitting in front of you?
I get in front of her, of course. There was too much of a hesitation for that answer.
Yeah, there should not have been any hesitation there.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
I always try and sit on the up ball side of it, so she can duck. Not that I've got great hands.
Back in the day, you did.
No, it wasn't one of my strengths.
Here's the 1-2. I'm trying to help you out here, Dick. There's the ball low, 2-2.
Many thought that I was trying to patent the steel/aluminum glove because it made a loud noise.
Oh, you could have made a lot of money doing that. Little pots and pan company. Swing and a miss.
Good boy.
Garcia strikes out. 2 gone. 3 strikeouts now for Boyd. Here are the standings. The Tigers and the O's are tied for the second wild card, and Boston only has a 1-game lead for the top wild card position. The final 3 weeks of this year, man, it's going to be a fun ride.
It is. They got 25. We got 25 games left. There'll be some ups and some downs. Right now, we're riding it pretty good.
And the Tigers, when you kind of break down the schedules, have one of the easier schedules, which should give them a bit of an advantage down the stretch. It's a foul ball, barely.
That statistically, you would think you would, but it never really works that way. You know, you run into a team that's, you know, retooling, thinking about next year. They're playing loose. They brought young talent up from the minor leagues. They're trying to impress. They're pretty tough to play against. You don't know a lot about them, and they're ready to go. Very aggressive. They put a lot of pressure on you. So you want to take anybody lightly.
Well, and I think a good example of that will be the Minnesota Twins, who have had a rugged year, but the Tigers have a 4-game series against the Twins at Comerica Park, and they've called up some people. Buxton is back up with their team, Barrios. And so you're right. I mean, they're young guys trying to win jobs for next year.
Minnesota beating Kansas City right now. Didn't they beat them last night? And no, they did not beat them last night. And also we have the Atlanta Braves. Our last series of the season was in a rebuilding structure, stature as well.
And they're also closing down their ballpark, which might make it more emotional. There's a big swing by Anderson.
Good inning.
Matt Boyd rebounds nicely. That's 4 strikeouts for the Tigers lefty. advantage will key in on Miguel Cabrera. 30 home run seasons in Tigers history. Miggy now has 7 of those. He crossed that plateau in yesterday's ball game.
Big names underneath. Greenberg. Hank Greenberg. Wow. A long time ago, wasn't it? Stormin' Norman Cash. Was he one of your faves?
He was my fave back in the 70s.
Do you remember when he had the rain glasses on with the windshield wipers?
Yes, I do.
Never forget it.
He was a tremendous character, which was part of the appeal for me. Cabrera leading it off as we go to the 4th, 1-0. The Sox have the lead.
He's going to give Miggy the fastball away. Another 2-0 count. Miggy's one of the smartest hitters in the league. He may be waiting for it, trying to drive it out of the park. Looks like a 2-seamer inside.
Soft pop up in the shallow center that's going to drop. Everything going good now for Cabrera. A Tigers t-shirt Fridays continue this Friday. The Tigers battle the Orioles at 7:10 p.m. Get a game ticket plus a Victor Martinez emoji t-shirt when you purchase exclusively at tigers.com/t-shirt Fridays.
Well, Miggy's red hot, isn't he? Hitting the ball out of the park, getting singles.
Well, Cabrera scalded a ball his first time up right at a defender, and that time he got a bloop one into center field and was rewarded.
They say it always evens out. Not many believe it.
Victor Martinez. Strike 1 on V-Mart.
Victor is so due.
Yeah, I would say so. He is 1 for 16 on the road trip.
Can you just bunt one right over here on the left side over the third base?
No, you hit one into the bullpen at right.
Okay, I'll take it.
One ball, 1 strike on Victor. I don't know. I guess we are seeing more and more players try and shoot the ball the other way and beat the shift. And we figured that probably would happen. A lot of players would get tired of bouncing into the shift or lining into the shift and having hits taken away.
If you look, they do have the shortstop in shallow enough that he thinks he can stop that bunt.
Up and in.
Remember, they pounded Victor inside early in his first at bat. Finished him inside. I'm sorry, they finished him away.
1 of 2 strikeouts for Gonzalez in that second. Victor slicing one to left field, and Cabrera lost it. Can't handle it, and Miguel will go to second and stop there, and a bit of a break for the Tigers. Can't imagine how helpless that feeling is.
Well, if you come to a ballpark someday, stand up in the concourse straight on and look directly into the lights, because you cannot see. That's one of those that's just kind of mid-height over to the gap just a little bit, and you can see him. He doesn't see it. When it disappears, you kind of hang in there as a player, hope that it comes out. He played it over to the side, unable to make the catch. The Tigers got something going on here, first and second.
A base hit for Martinez. Tigers now have 4 hits, 2 on, nobody out. JD struck out his first time up. A look at ball 1 inside.
Remember when Melky robbed, was it Maben yesterday,
Maben.
first play of the game,
Yeah.
so he gave one back to us there. That's nice of him.
A little help from the light standard.
Now we'll take a bullet here.
Gonzalez with the 1-0. This is the Trucks selection for player of the game, so they are in unison right now, standing up and clapping rhythmically for JD Martinez to get a big hit here.
And we're all cheering for them to be right.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on JD Martinez. Well, this is why the truck picked JD in 12 games this year against the White Sox. 476.
Yeah, they've been featuring a lot of off-speed pitches going down and away from JD. Trying to sneak a fastball in there now and then to get him looking for the heater. They want to get him out on that front foot. Try and take his power away.
White Sox have a 1-0 lead for the time being. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on JD.
1-0 fastball away, came with that pitch in the inside. You see it's a little two-seamer running down and in underneath the hands off the plate.
Gonzalez had a terrible spring training for the Orioles this year, was then released by Baltimore on April 1st and signed a few days later, I should say, by the White Sox on the 6th of April.
Got pretty good location.
Pounded foul, back out of play. Check in now with Trevor Thompson with more on JD Martinez.
I talked with JD before the game about his approach while he was on the disabled list and how he stayed so sharp when he came back. He said he prepared every day as if he were playing, his exact same routine, and that kept his mind in the game. I asked him how tough that was over a 2-month period. He said it was really tough to prepare and then not get into the game, but it certainly paid off. Gibby, I'm wondering, what do guys do? What did you do when you were on the DL to prepare for when you came back?
Swing and a miss, down he goes.
Yeah, good question. Everybody prepares a little differently. Many guys come earlier now and get out earlier. It used to be the other way around, came later and stayed later. But you have your routine. You may come in, do some light exercises. Maybe you work out a light workout. If you have any training room things you need to do, you do that. At some point, you're going to go down into the batting cage. You're going to do your tee routine. You're going to get some flips. Everybody has their time. They pretty much know who's going to go down there at what time. You're going to make your way to the video room, and you're going to watch film of the pitcher who's throwing. You may watch some film of what you did last night, what they did to you, who their catcher is, what he likes to do, his tendencies. Then obviously you transition into batting practice. And now this time of the year, many guys don't take batting practice. Jay Up, for instance, he does not take batting practice on the field. He does all of his work in the cage. Take your BP, maybe you go out and take a few ground balls or a couple. Fun goes out into the outfield, and then you're back inside. Oh, I forgot, they do eat 3 or 4 times in between. That is something new.
Well, you don't forget about that.
Yeah, they do eat. Go in, they go in and they eat again, then you're going through your routine before the game. About 45 minutes before the game. Most of the TVs go off, and guys start locking in a bit, and they're getting loose again. They're doing a lot of dynamic warm-up stuff, so they go out there. When they hit the field, they're basically loose now. We used to just go out and run. But they're much more advanced in their techniques to get ready for a game, and then it's game on. Anthem plays, get that little feeling in your tummy, and go to work.
Well, it's 2-0 here on Upton. And a strike on the inside part of the plate. Looked a little bit in tight. 2-1. Do you find a lot of guys this time of the year will just swing in the cages as opposed to taking regular BP?
I mean, how many swings do you need to take? Yeah, they do it pretty much. You go down there, take less swings. You just get right. You have success and get out of there.
Slice foul, out of play.
Here's the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. Happened yesterday in the 11th inning. Love this call. Jay Up went deep. He did it again.
It's an outstanding impression.
That's look at Mickey. I can't believe it. That's fun there. That's fun stuff.
When you get Miggy that wide-eyed, you know you've done something. 2-2 on Upton. 2 on, 1 out. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Gonzalez now with strikeouts of Martinez and Upton.
Tell you what, Gonzalez, he's doing what we call painting. He is painting. He's working both sides of the plate. Got all of his pitches working, good breaking stuff. Sharp, late breaking down in the zone. Taking care of the Tigers. Tigers started with first and second, nobody out. Now down to their last chance with 2 outs.
McGee hit a ball that appeared certain to be going into left field. Anderson made a great play on him to grass and threw him out from his shortstop position. Casey looks at ball 1.
Got crossed up there. So the Tigers have 2 outs. They've scored many on this recent run with 2 outs. Very good at it, ranked very high in 2-out RBI with runners in scoring position.
Tigers batting average in those spots among the best, if not the best, for a stretch here in the second half. It'll take a 2-out hit here after leadoff singles by Cabrera and Martinez. Martinez, or I should say McGee rather, in his younger days when he first got to the big leagues was a pretty good power hitter.
He always just kind of had that right center approach there.
Strike called.
That ball looked like it's off the plate, but he's going to get the call. He's being pretty consistent around the zone. Tom Hallion behind the plate today, veteran umpire. He's getting him those pitches.
This is the time of the year where benches around the big leagues are much more healthy because of all these September call-ups. And McGee shoots one in the air to right field. Avisail Garcia is there, and the threat is over. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. Money encounter. Gibby was talking about this the other day. He wanted to know what the fewest wins to reach the American League playoffs has been recently. And I guess back in last year, Houston had 86 wins.
Remember way back, the Cardinals in the other league, they won it in '86. They had, it was like 83 or 84, I think it was. But see 92 there in 2013 by the Rays in their appearance. But you know, I just think it's 90. I think it not guarantees, but I think that's a good number. It's more than you usually need, and let's don't leave any room for doubt.
Well, and if the Tigers are to win 90, they would need to go 15-10 over their final 25.
That's doable.
Very doable.
Who would think that isn't doable?
Not me. Saladino rolls one foul to third base. Then Melky Cabrera and Jose Abreu here in the bottom of the fourth. Sox have the 1-0 lead on the leadoff home run by Abreu in the second. Otherwise, Matt Boyd doing some good work here tonight. He has induced a couple of ground ball double plays.
The White Sox have hit the balls very hard, but as you said, he got the double play balls. He's right around league average in ground balls. Matt Boyd is. He'll get better at learning how to use his pitches better.
Ground ball left side, base hit. Saladino finds the hole, and the leadoff man is on.
Matt Boyd now at 50 pitches ratio, a lot of strikes.
That's really good.
He's really throwing the ball in the strike zone. Kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in our open. We were talking about K-Rod and the influence he's had on the bullpen. I think it spills over into the starters as well. And his main contribution, obviously, he leads by example. But also, he talks a lot when he gets into the bullpen about how to read hitters. If he knows when to give in, he knows when he has to, he knows when he doesn't have to do it, when he needs to throw a strike. Very good at reading hitters. So now when you see Matt Boyd throwing as many strikes as he's throwing right now and able to command the ball much better, now you put those two together, you become much more successful. Another double play.
6, 4, and 3. Did he tie him? Yes, he got him. Another ground ball just when Boyd needed it the most. 2 gone. That is 3 double plays turned by the Tigers infield.
Well, Cabrera tries to pull a bitch up and away. Easy. I don't know what happened to Romine. He's using the money. The Biggie makes a good tag right there. Barely got him. Sure they're looking at that. Hurry up, pitch that ball.
Here's Abreu.
It did look like he ticked him, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And I think the reaction of Melky, too, he just, after he got back to the bag, just ran back to the dugout. I think you could tell a lot by the initial reaction of players on close plays. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Let's see what Matt Boyd does to Abreu now. We took him deep his last at bat. Seen a lot of pitches already tonight.
Slice to right field, base hit. So Abreu has 2 hits and a 2-out runner now for Chicago. We'll bring in Todd Frazier. Frazier struck out in the 2nd, and his struggles against the Tigers continue this year. He's batting just .140, or was coming into play tonight against Detroit pitching.
However, he has 35 home runs.
Pops that one up a mile high. Iglesias going back to the grass. That'll end the inning. No runs, couple of hits, 1 man left. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Nighttime settling in here in Chicago. The Tigers trail 1-0 as we go to the 5th inning. And it'll be a strike called on Jared Saltalamacchia. Romine and then Maben to follow, facing Miguel Gonzalez, who wiggled out of a jam in the 4th. Salty spins away, was almost hit. There's that shift that they play against Saltalamacchia, the same one they play against Vimar.
Center field playing very shallow. Larry Garcia.
Ball fading away for strike 2.
2 out of 3 pitches are off-speed pitches to Salty. Like to get him on that high fastball and jam him as well. Salty likes to pitch out over the plate, about belt down to the knee. It's his danger zone.
Pull on the ground to first. Flagged there by Abreu, and covering is Gonzalez. One gone here to the 5th. Romine will step in. We check in now with Trevor Thompson.
And Mario, you were in with Brad Ausmus prior to the game when he was talking about Andrew Romine and his contributions on this road trip. I wanted to talk about the defense that Romine had been playing several different positions, but Brad Ausmus wanted to talk about his offense. He's hit a couple of really hard balls on this trip, right on the screws, hadn't been rewarded for it, but with his defense. Ended that game in KC the other day, played some fine defense so far in this series. And I don't know about you, Mario, but I got the sense that Romine's an Ausmus favorite. What did you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think that anybody that can step off the bench and play literally anywhere on the field gives the manager so much flexibility. The ball is going to be driven to center, but playable for the second out. And Gibby, when you look at that play that Romine made to close out that KC series, it looked to be routine, but it was a ball that was off the bat at 107 miles an hour and drilled him in the chest, and he stayed with it and stayed in front of it.
Yeah, he just wore it. He knew that's what he had to do, and he just wanted to make sure he got it down and kept it in front of him in case he wasn't able to make the play. The ball's right there, and he doesn't let a run score. But that's the kind of player he is. He would never lay that ball. He's going to lay it down. Kept it right in front of him, calmly picked it up. There's no panic in this game.
Strike 1 to Maben, who has a single and a ground out.
That was right after the bloody finger incident.
That's right. 2 really hard hit balls, one to Kinsler, and then the final out to Romine.
Did you ever play the game of Clue?
A little bit, not much, but I'm familiar with it.
Wasn't that one of the things that clues you could use? He did it in the stateroom. Hit him with the candlestick with a bloody finger.
Bloody finger. Little pop up, shortstop side. It's going to be Anderson. No bloody fingers there. It's an 8-pitch inning for Gonzalez. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire.
Take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game tonight. 5 hits given up by Matt Boyd, but 3 double plays. Got Tyler Saladino in the first, Jason Coates in the second, and Melky Cabrera in the fourth. Kept this game tight. 1-0 Tigers trail. Look at the out distribution. 4 strikeouts, 6 groundouts, and 2 fly ball.
Here is Garcia to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th. The White Sox still lead 1-0 on the home run by Jose Abreu. Garcia, Coates, and Narvaez. That sails outside, floats outside more accurately. 1 ball to no strikes. Solid single to center in his first at bat for Garcia. Here's the 1-0. Drill to right field. Martinez on the move, 1 gone. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Jason Coates. We talked a little bit about this earlier, Gibby, and the fact that, you know, Verlander has been a great leader for this pitching staff. I mean, even a guy like Boyd can, although they're very different pitchers, can learn something, I think, just watching JV operate.
Well, we were talking about Rodriguez. You have Zimmerman. Unfortunately, he's been on the DL. Justin Verlander. You're watching these guys, the way they go about their business every day, what their routine is. Many times those guys will go down and watch bullpens. When Verlander throws his bullpen, the younger guys will go down and watch what he does. Because that's one of the things you got to learn. What is my routine? How many pitches should I be throwing? How do I know? Should I throw extra? Should I throw none? Should I throw just a few? What pitches should I work on? Should I go ahead and work on my changeup or my breaking ball today? And then obviously you have to be ready to take it into the game.
Down the left field line, it's going to go to the corner and bounce against the wall. Coates on his way to second. He has himself a 1-out double.
Boy, he likes to get the head out. He's a hacker. He looks like a pull hitter. Hey, here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. 95, a little firm, low of 72 for Matt Boyd tonight. Pretty good variation. That's another thing with Boyd. He's got to mess with his pitches. He's discovering what he can throw for a strike. Then you have to just adjust that speed just perfectly. You want to have deception on all your pitches. So you have to, maybe the changeup needs to be a little softer. Maybe the curveball's too hard, the slider, the cutter. Again, these are things that you have to learn as a young pitcher to go deeper into games. However, tonight, Boyd's going pretty good shape with his pitch count so far.
Yeah, it's been helped out by 3 double plays. That'll certainly help keep your pitch count in shape. Catcher Omar Narvaez, the batter. That'll bounce away, and runner's not going to move up. He didn't see it. Coates didn't see it initially. They could hit the umpire, which helped.
Well, look from behind home plate. It's easy for us to see, but if you're the runner, you might not pick that up. Obviously, that was the case with Coates. Good break for the Tigers. Don't want to have that guy over there with 1 out.
Two is in the air to center field. He's going to drop base hit. Coates rounding third. He'll come around to score. It's an RBI hit for Narvaez, and it's 2-0 Chicago.
Well, 2 new guys in the lineup tonight, and they hurt Matt Boyd. Coates with the double, and Narvaez with the RBI single. Tigers trailed by 2.
Which gets back to your point about how it really gets tough in the month of September. You look at some of these lineups and say, well, a lot of the regulars are out. The young guys are playing, or the new guys are playing, and, well, they've contributed tonight.
They have, and you don't really know him. Narvaez has been hot, hitting .429 from the left, .326 from the right, and .444 in his last 7 games. But not a lot of at-bats, a small sample size, but successful so far.
Leury Garcia has spent the entire year at AAA this year, but he's got a lot of big league time. Originally in the Texas system in the big leagues, and then acquired in the Alex Rios deal a few years back by Chicago. Ball inside, 1-1.
Just a little tidbit here by Matt Boyd. The first time through the lineup, 8 swings and misses. Second time through, only 1 swing and miss. So the White Sox getting on to Matt Boyd a little bit, understanding where it's coming out and recognizing better.
That is a telling tidbit. Swing and a miss. Ball out of the strike zone, 1-2. Garcia down at AAA was hitting .313, also stole 18 bases.
He plays in the big leagues with Texas, I believe.
Correct.
He's got some big league time. He feels like he belongs.
Both of these teams with a lot of guys on their bench now. The Tigers calling up Moya. They called up Hicks recently, and Machado and Jacoby Jones. McGee, who's in the game tonight. Slap foul down the right field line.
Yeah, a pretty good bench. Collins and Moya from the left side. Kinsler, Machado, Hicks, and McCann from the right side. Ibar's a switch. We were talking at lunch today. One thing they don't have is a burner on the bench, which, of course, that was a successful Kansas City. Happened to have somebody like that. But Collins would probably be a pinch runner, or Kinsler certainly tonight if we needed somebody. Normally, you would expect Ian to be in the game.
Bouncing ball to second, could be another double play. That's a 4-6. Oh, and the ball didn't hit the runner.
Iglesias is trying to say he ran out of the bag, ran out of the baseline.
Like the ball hit the runner somewhere.
Hit him on the hand. Did he stick it out? I believe it's if it's a natural movement, it doesn't matter. If he throws it up intentionally, it is an automatic double play. Hand is up.
I don't know that he.
You see Miggy pointing right there. Did he do it intentionally? Do we have another view?
It was a pretty natural movement. Well, they're talking about it right now. Here you go.
Yeah, I don't think he did it intentionally.
It's a pretty normal slide.
Oh, it looked like he tried to catch it. You wouldn't want to get hit at that range for sure. Usually most of the players now, since they have the rule change, they don't even go in that hard. They usually run off and they just slide very quickly. So I would still promote go in there as hard as you can. Try and spook him. Yeah, they're going to leave him at first.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call.
And Brad's going to come out now and get the explanation on what they talked about. The home plate umpire Tom Hallion is the crew chief.
I'm not sure if you can challenge this, but you could ask the umpires, is that something you might want to look at just to make sure? I don't think they win that one.
No, I agree. I think Brad's trying to put forth the argument that he threw his hands up and it was something more than just a normal slide.
Well, we can go back and look at that play one more time. Romine lays back just a little bit. He doesn't get a good read on this. See, he didn't know whether to come or go get it. He definitely puts his hands up. I'm not sure that Iglesias got a great throw either. Didn't look like maybe he didn't have a good grip. But he tried to sell it. No sale.
Garcia got down the line in a hurry too, and I don't even know if they complete the double play with a good throw.
Yeah, like I said, if Romine comes and gets it right away, maybe, but Garcia runs very well. Matt's going to have to keep an eye on him. He likes to run.
So it's Garcia at first now with 2 outs, and here is the top of the order, Tim Anderson. Strikeout and a single for Anderson. Mentioned Garcia down in the minor leagues this year, had 18 stolen bases for Charlotte, the White Sox AAA team.
Matt Boyd, he's got a really good move over there. He might want to do it again. It's a borderline balk call. Take a quick look at it. He's very deceptive. He looks like he's going home, and then he throws to first, and the key is to walk towards first base. That way, if you don't walk, you'll get the balk called on you.
Garcia, twice in his minor league career, has stolen as many as 30 bags.
Well, you know he wants to run. You got the leadoff hitter up there. If you get thrown out, you still have your leadoff guy up to lead off the next inning.
Man, that thing fouled off.
Went away
Catcher,
there.
and there's a piece of equipment that just came ricocheting off. That's a shoulder pad.
Might be.
Yeah, shoulder pad, I think.
That little one that usually goes in front of the shoulder. So Salty's a little exposed right now. It'll come right off. That protects the shoulder. Not anymore.
Well, it did its job that time, but it's no longer part of the protective equipment. Anderson would not chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Double by Coates here in the 5th. RBI single by Narvaez to make it a 2-0 game. Checked it low. They will appeal. Did not go, says Dan Bellino. 2-2.
Game is slowed down a little bit with the fleet of foot Garcia on base.
Little pop-up foul, back out of play.
Drawing several throws. Matt Boyd slowing himself down. The inning's getting a little long.
Anderson came into this game with 90 hits. Well, he has 90 now with his single in the 1st, and that is the 3rd most among American League rookies. Got here about midway through the season. Another foul, back out of play.
Being scrappy. Did this in his first at bat. Ended up getting a single. Was later erased by a double play by Saladino. Fouled some off in his 3rd at bat. Struck out, and here he goes again in the 5th. Deep at bats.
Well, suddenly a pitch count that was in pretty good shape is starting to elevate now.
I think he started at around 50 some pitches. 55. That's 20 or so this inning.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Finally got rid of Anderson. 1 run on a couple of hits. 1 man left. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Some news and notes from around the major leagues. Giancarlo Stanton was activated off the disabled list earlier today. They thought he was going to miss the rest of the year.
Quick healer, I guess. And Alex Bregman, last 16 game on fire, 5 home runs and 18 RBI. You see the team 12-4, 7-3 in their last 10. They lead Cleveland right now 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Brian Dozier, man, 25 homers in 51 games since the All-Star break.
On fire.
There's a post-All-Star game record for second baseman. Here it is 2-0 in favor of Chicago as the Tigers bat in the 6th inning. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. It'll be Iglesias leading it off. Gonzalez had a 1-2-3 fifth.
Tigers totally shut down so far. Gonzalez, 5 innings and 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, has not walked anybody. Total command with all of his pitches. Tigers have had a hard time centering him.
He really has had a couple of instances where the Tigers had a chance. 2 on, but a double play in the 3rd, and then 2 on, nobody out in the 4th. But he struck out a pair. Got out of that jam as Iglesias shows bunt.
Got a fly out the end of the inning by Casey McGee in the 4th. But you got to be sitting there expecting something's going to happen good for the Tigers the way things have been going.
There's the 2-1. High fly ball, right center field. Garcia's under it. 1 gone.
Well, we try to prime the pump from time to time. Yesterday, Miguel Cabrera in the 1st inning gets the Tigers on the board with an Oppo home run. And in the 3rd, line drive to left center. Did he save 1 or 2 for the night?
Hopefully.
Tigers very good at getting rallies going. Once they start, they are very good at handing off to the next guy and putting multiple runs on the board.
Ball 1 to Miguel. Single ground out in the ball game tonight.
Good changeup, well placed. That's going to keep Gonzalez out of trouble. Tigers are waiting for him to start hanging him.
In the air to center field. Garcia is on the run. He'll go to the warning track to haul it in.
Nice cutter right there. Miggy thought he had him. Broke off to the end of the bat. Out.
2 outs. See, time is running out. The 2016 Michigan Sports Hall of Fame induction is right around the corner on Friday, September 9th. Be there. Sports legends Derek Jeter, Ben Wallace, Brendan Shanahan, and more are officially welcome to the 2016 class. For tickets or more information, visit mshof.org or call 313-576-5111. Here is Victor Martinez with 2 outs. V-Mart single and a strikeout. Pulls this one foul at first base. Victor hit that line drive to left field that Melky Cabrera lost in the lights his last time up.
Well, Gonzalez, pretty good distribution. 4 fly ball outs, 8 ground ball outs, 4 strikeouts. Just kind of spreading it around. All of his pitches as well. Do we have a dispute over a ball there?
Some Tigers fans there.
Stand your ground, folks.
Well, you've got plenty of backup. I know that. There are a lot of Tigers fans in this ballpark. And they typically do travel well to Chicago every year.
The 2 craziest times in Chicago, one was the brawl we had back in,
right?
Was it the late 90s or early 2000? And then the next one was at the old Comiskey Disco Demolition Night.
Well, that was unreal.
Which actually the White Sox forfeited the 2nd game of a doubleheader.
Here's the 1-1. High pop up, shallow left field. Cabrera coming in on this one. And Gonzalez another 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 2-0 White Sox. Scores that we're keeping our eyes on around the league, Keats. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Yankees in the bottom of the 8th. You talked about that Baltimore game. Cleveland is losing at home in the 9th. As Houston is winning again there, so hopefully that score will hold up.
Tell them New York is a surprise since they made all the trades.
Tyler Saladino leads it off.
Just kind of looking at Matt Boyd where he's at right now with this pitch count, 77. The most he's thrown is 106. You figure that's going to be his top end. In pretty good command tonight, throwing a good game. Kind of look over to the bullpen. The up guys in the game have been pretty well used. Rodriguez with the Wilson boys and Greeny. So you might be looking at Belfry, Lowe, Kyle Ryan, Farmer, Hardy tonight, because you gotta give those guys a rest in down games. You might want to go to the rest of the guys out there, give them some work as well. Hopefully they can be successful. That only makes you better as you go down the stretch.
2 balls hit, 2 strikes on Saladino. He'll be followed by Cabrera and then Abreu. 2, 3, and 4 in the Sox lineup here in the 6th. Foul away.
Well, all that I'm talking about, we're 30 pitches away, so but you need to kind of start thinking about it. Guys on, you might bring in a guy like Kyle Ryan, good at getting a double play, has around a 60% ground ball ratio.
A couple of guys right now doing some arm stretches in the Tigers bullpen as we speak. Ball popped up. Here comes Cabrera from first base. One away. That'll bring up Cabrera, but right now we check in with Trevor Thompson.
Mario was speaking with Rich Doobie, the Tigers pitching coach, prior to the game about the way that he's worked with Matt Boyd, changing the arm slot and the way that he's adjusted to that. He said there are still some inconsistencies there, but the aptitude is high. The coachability of these guys is high, and he just loves what he sees from Norris and Fulmer and guys like Boyd. Wondering what you're thinking of the way he's going here tonight, guys.
Well, he's throwing great, and Rich Doobie is a guy who doesn't want any credit. He kind of walks around and does his business now. He coached or was the pitch coach under Charlie Manuel for many years in Philadelphia. It does have a world championship. Well schooled, has a lot of wisdom. And as I said, I think he has a lot of trust in these pitchers. He's done a great job. They've evolved with all the young arms that they've had to bring into the mix.
Well, I think it really amazes me that, whether it's a hitting coach or a pitching coach, some of the nuances they can spot with the naked eye from the bench, or even if they go back and look at some video. I mean, these guys are well versed in what makes these guys tick on the field. And, he's done some work with Norris and Boyd. They'll get back out of play.
Well, I can tell you, Charlie Manuel he loved to coach hitting. Okay, he loved it, even when he was a manager. And, Doobie took care of the pitching. Here's the rotation addition since opening day. You got Fulmer, Boyd, and Norris. All have thrown very well for the Tigers this year under Rich Doobie's tutelage.
Yeah, none of those guys were in the rotation on opening day, but as you know, stuff happens throughout the course of the year. Injuries happen, and the Tigers have gotten a lot of innings from some young guys.
Well, we talked about it going into the season that we thought the Tigers had more depth by making the decision at the trade deadline in 2015. And it's shown that it's paid off. And they did get some experience with the Tigers last year.
There's a C9 single to left field for Cabrera.
We need a couple C9 singles and then a bomb.
1 on, 1 out. Abreu. Is that a good night single and a homer?
Yeah, I think you want to keep the ball down here, try and get that double play.
Abreu's average hovering around 300 now, 295. He is a prime, and I mean prime, double play candidate. 18 of them this year.
Ooh, I like it.
And that leads the White Sox.
Nothing worse than hitting into a double play when you're a hitter. Running down that line for the trot of shame.
Swing and a miss. Another pitch up, and it's 0-2.
Matt Boyd, he's got a little something to settle right there, doesn't he? First 2 pitches, very aggressive. Looks like Abreu's trying to go deep, maybe overswinging a bit. Down in the count, 0-2.
90 now for Boyd. Lifted in the air toward left. That'll be up and under it. And they finally get Abreu, 1 gone, or 2 gone rather, with 1 on.
He got away with one there.
That'll bring up Todd Frazier.
The ball broke kind of over the heart of the plate. I think they wanted that to break down and in, out of the zone. It's a chase pitch. Nevertheless, they get the out.
Frazier strikeout pop-up. Strike 1.
Boyd over 90 pitches now, so he's getting up into the I'm done territory.
Frazier's 35 home runs, the most by a White Sox third baseman in their history for a single season. So the numbers on Boyd, who has been helped out by 3 double play balls. A big rip there, fouled it straight back.
We do have action. Playing Hardy. And then Mr. Farmer.
One ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Frazier down. He's 0 for 3. Nothing comes to the 1-out single. We go to the 7th in Chicago.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Miguel Gonzalez has really kept the Tigers off balance. A hot hitting Tiger team. Got them off their front foot. Good combination of fastballs and off-speed pitches throwing to both sides of the plate. Shut down the Tigers' hot hitters so far. 6 innings so far, 4 hits and 4 strikeouts is on the line.
J.D. Martinez leads it off as we go to the 7th, and he lines one to center field, a base hit.
They were just a hit and a bomb away.
Well, it was 9 in a row retired by Gonzalez before that single.
Look at this pitch here out over the middle of the plate. JD just on the line. Gonzalez is less than 90 pitches still. I would think that Robin Ventura, if he saw another bullet somewhere, would get somebody up in the bullpen.
Got Jennings right now, the left-hander. Tigers would welcome that. They have done really good work against the Sox bullpen this year. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
If they bring Jennings in down there where Salty's up, I would think they would go to James McCann.
Upton had a single in the second. He fanned in the fourth. The 0-1 is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think one of the things that Jay Up did when he got those 3 days off was move a little bit off the plate. See a lot of pitches on the outside corner. You're coming to him now. Gonna try and get this one in on him. Ooh, missed that, didn't he? Supposed to be on the inside corner, right down the middle.
Upton flared it foul down the right field line. He's behind 1-2. Gonzalez has not had to pitch from the stretch since the 4th inning. And Jay Up popped it up. Shallow right field. Garcia coming in. 1 gone. Well, luxury suite packages for potential postseason games at Comerica Park are on sale now. All packages include a credit to be used toward a 2017 suite package. Call 313-471-2222 for more information. Here is Casey McGee. And McGee looks at the ball. Last 6 outs that Gonzalez has recorded have come on fly balls.
Which earlier is a lot of ground balls. It's telling you maybe those last 2 pitches to Jay Up or pitches that Jay Up could have got to, they did not make it to the proper location. So good sign for the Tigers down to their last 8 outs.
Line drive to left, base hit. That'll get Martinez to second. 2 on and 1 out.
I think they're going to at least have a talk here. I think that maybe he would think about he's going to come get him for Salty, and they're going to see if McCann's ready.
Jennings, the left-hander, has been warming up. Robin Ventura walking out to the mound slowly. He'll make the signal to the bullpen. So Gonzalez gets him into the 7th. He will leave with 2 men on. Wallside windows pitching change. We'll be back. Dan Jennings is the new pitcher now for the White Sox.
He's heavily used by the White Sox. Very good pitcher this year. ERA at 1.82. 40 strikeouts in the 54 games, and you see lefties at 225 average, righties 278. Salty's going to turn around.
2 on 1 out, 2-run game. The White Sox have the lead. And Jennings throws the ball low. He has induced 10 double play balls this year. Here's Ibar pinch running.
That's first in the league, isn't that?
It is first in the league. So Ibar for McGee. He'll stay in the game and play third as well. Saltalamacchia with a couple of ground balls in this game. Back him out of there inside. 2-0.
0 for 4 with the 2 punchies for Salty. Time to get back.
Jennings an ERA of 1.36 over his last 38 games. 2 on 1 out.
Nice and short, Salty.
Inside 3-0.
Well, Foxtrax showed that caught the corner, but that ball was not caught very well by the catcher. They don't get the call.
Romine on deck.
I'd let him swing right here. Got to look right down the middle, though.
And that's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. It's the first walk of the game. They are loaded up now, so a base hit could tie it up. Don Cooper coming up.
If he didn't like what he saw in that first at bat, he's going to go down to get his lefty settled down.
More action in the bullpen. The hard-throwing Nate Jones tuning up. Talked about how the Tigers have, when you look at the season series, done some great work against the bullpen of the White Sox. And they're hoping to do more of the same here now that they've knocked the starter out of the game. And Jacoby Jones now has picked up the bat, and he's going to hit for Romine.
Well, the Tigers starters and the White Sox starters are very similar in their numbers against each other, but the bullpen's a different. That's a different story. Tigers bullpen thoroughly outpitched the White Sox bullpen. Plus the Tigers have been beating up on the White Sox as of late. This is an interesting call right here. I mean, you probably got to do it. This is your one chance late in the game, looking for a little thunder. That's why they got him. This is a tall task for a youngster, though, huh?
Well, the bases are loaded. We'll see what he can do here. Jones 4 for 15 to start his major league career. Had a couple of big games against the Sox when he was first called up. They're loaded up with 1 out.
I think that you're not going to get a fastball at the first pitch, though, even though you just walked the guy. Jennings looks like he's got a little excitement going inside of that.
He does, doesn't he?
That melon there.
Jittery.
Throws a lot of sliders, almost 40% at the time.
Now Narvaez out to the mound at the request of the left-hander.
When you see a pitcher rattle like that, maybe you're down at second base, you deke like you're relaying signs. You know what I mean? Give you something else to think about.
Ibar is the runner at second, the pinch runner.
The more for him to process, the better.
Ball 1 to Jones.
Oh, I got to take a pitch.
Absolutely. Jennings has come on, hadn't thrown a strike.
5 pitches, all balls. I don't know if the Tigers have a take sign, but generally in this situation, you would get that sign right now.
And it's outside, 2-0.
He tried the slider.
6 straight balls by Jennings. Martinez, Idlar, and Saltalamacchia.
Got to take it. Keep the pressure on him. Don't want him swinging something out of the zone.
He's swinging right through it. Ooh, he had a good rip too. But now it's 2-1.
You know, was that in the zone? It was right at the top, wasn't it?
Yeah, right at the top.
We let her go, didn't he? Wasn't going for a tie game. Atta boy. Now you stand up there, you're a young kid. You got some excitement in that body. This is fun stuff here. You want to be up.
Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Just about the same location. The count now 2-2 on Jones.
As much as Jennings waits when he comes set, that would be disruptive, I would think, to hitters. It's kind of a long wait, don't you think?
Yes.
Think about stepping out on him. That's the old blink game. You don't want to get caught where you need to blink, but then you're holding your blink. Another fastball. Step out.
Swing on and missed. He struck him out. So after falling behind 2-0, he strikes out Jacoby Jones.
As you said, got up 2-0. This Jennings kid, he's got a good arm and a funky motion, and he comes back and gets Jacoby Jones. That ball's got a little tail on it at the end. Hit the location pretty good right there, right in the outside corner.
He sure did.
So it says 91 miles an hour, but it looks like it plays up a bit.
Another well side windows pitch and change. Back to the bullpen go the White Sox. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Well, the Tigers have them loaded up here. They're down by 2 runs, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And Cameron Maben taking all the way. Looks at ball 1 from the right-hander Jones.
They're going to pick his teammate up. Nate Jones threw an inning yesterday. Fastball, slider. Fastball's around 96, 97. Slider around 88.
Maben looks at a strike. Jones struck out the side in the 9th inning against the Tigers. In yesterday's game, Cameron 1 for 3 tonight.
Has an unusual motion. Throwing motion. He takes his arm out of his glove very quickly. You won't see many guys do this. I don't see anybody doing it.
On the outer edge again. Man, those things are right in the corner.
That's paint. Going to get a slider here. It's going to be a chase pitch.
First 3 on the outer edge against Maben. Swing and a miss. Did he go? Yes, he went around. Big strikeout for Jones out of the bullpen. The Tigers will leave them loaded. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. The Tigers hopefully can come back in this one and gain another game on Cleveland. In the meantime, though, they've got some work to do here. They're down by a couple of runs. Looks like Baltimore is on their way to getting a win tonight. They're leading big late in their game.
Yeah, the Tigers have got to be frustrated. They've had 3 situations with men on base. They've left 7 on base for double play and 4 strikeouts. They did not get any runs. Eric Ibar stays in at second base. I believe Jacoby Jones is over there at
third base.
Third base. And if they're a young kid now, you have it at bat like this, you're still in the game. It's 2-0. This is really where you got to lock in. You got to put that behind you. Got to make sure you're ready for that ball to be hit to you. You understand all the situations that might happen in front of you.
Garcia, the batter, and he'll look at a ball from Matt Boyd, who's still out there.
They're going to push him to his limit today.
His limit this year has been 106, as you mentioned earlier. That was against Boston at home.
Probably going to be around 110.
He floats one in, but just a tad low. Garcia 1 for 2, single and a fly out in this game. Two and one.
Brad letting his youngster go a little deeper. This is big time to excel and let him go to his max. Hopefully he can get through this inning with minimal pitches and get a win.
Ground ball sharply hit. Oh man, Iglesias What a play to throw him out.
Ooh.
An absolute rocket. I think more accurately caught Iglesias.
Yeah, well, he made a good move, had a good route to it. Sticks his glove right out where he thinks he's going to bounce. Got very little time to remember where to put your hand or think about where the ball's going to bounce, but he does a good job. He cut him down.
Here's Coates. High pop-up, shallow right field. JD coming in, and there are 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Omar Narvaez with 2 away. He provided an RBI single in the 5th inning that made it a 2-0 game. That's where we stand right now in the bottom of the 7th.
There he is, 100 pitches. Had a couple of real nice innings there. Throwing with confidence, working quickly. Probably one of his better games.
Helped out by 3 double play balls early in this game. He has struck out 6. It's just amazing to watch these guys pitch. These youngsters, the future of the Tigers rotation. Fulmer, Norris, Boyd down the stretch in a pennant race. They are not in the least intimidated.
I know they talk about it quite a bit.
Up and in. 3-0. Norris has talked about the fact that those 3 do talk many times about how they could formulate the future of the Tigers rotation. And there's a 2-out walk now to Narvaez.
Going to give him one more hitter.
This is the first walk of the game for Matt Boyd. Number 9 hitter coming up, Leury Garcia. Strikeout, reaching out a fielder's choice as well. Garcia called up from their AAA team in Charlotte, where he was having a really good year. .313 batting average. That sails high, 1-0, and now 5 straight that have missed the strike zone for Boyd.
Yep, starting to aim it a little bit. Probably fatiguing.
Outside again, 2-0. Tigers have had action in their bullpen, and now Salty out to give him a blow as he walks out to the mound.
Very good visit.
These 2 have worked every start together. Saltalamacchia has been there every step of the way for Boyd.
Do you call that a personal catcher?
Well, it's approaching that. I know managers hate to say that.
They do, because there are times when somebody gets nicked up or something, or you need to give them a day off. You're going to have to go the other way.
And a strike called.
Career high in pitches now for Matt Boyd. 107.
As you say, pushing him to his limits this year, averaging about 87.5 a game. There's a bouncing ball to third. Right there is Jacoby Jones in the backhanded play. Nicely done.
That was no easy play right there. Good backspin, makes a good decision. Little backhand.
Tigers baseball tonight presented by Baltimore.
top eighth. Tigers trail 2-0. Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Home run to Jose Abreu in the first puts the White Sox up 1-0. Then in the fifth, Jason Coates with a 1-out double and brought in by Omar Narvaez. That's the only 2 runs of the game. Tigers still trail by 2. Had a couple opportunities, but still digging.
Well, they've got some pretty good hitters coming up here. It'll be Iglesias, then Cabrera and Victor Martinez facing Jones, who came on to strike out Maben with the bases loaded in the 7th. Iglesias with a ground out and a couple of flyouts. All 3 of those at bats against the starter Miguel Gonzalez, who was pretty good here tonight. The first one darts outside, 1-0.
Yeah, this Jones kid, he's got a really lively arm. And again, he has the funky motion. You don't face anybody like this, but Tiger hitters really seem to be late on him.
Line drive to right, but right there, and shallow in right field is Garcia, 1 gone.
Well defensed. Put the bat on the ball pretty good there, but Garcia playing Iglesias in there all night long.
There's Miguel Cabrera, single fly out, ground out. Bouncing ball to first. Sidearm pick there by Abreu, 2 gone.
Olay. He didn't want to get in front of that, did he?
It looked like it.
Iggy centered it very well. Tigers really picked good pitches. A lot of top spin on that pitch and side spin. Jones over there to make the play.
Every at bat tonight for Cabrera with the bases empty. So with 2 outs, here is Victor Martinez. Sox got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, and so far it has held up. Victor fouls it back out of play.
Jones doesn't screw around at all. Comes right at you. Tigers are ready though.
A couple of hard hit balls for the Tigers here against Jones in the 8th.
8 pitches, 6 strikes.
There's that shift against Victor. Oh, 2.
You can see the velo there, 98 miles an hour, is coming in there pretty good.
Jones has retired all 3 since coming on in the 7th.
Tried to get him to chase one in the dirt right there. If you're Victor, you just again, he's been struggling a bit on this road trip. Just trying to get a little single here, get on base for your teammate, get the line of roll, a little 2-out trouble. JD to follow, and then Jay up.
Just seen one base runner bring the tying run to the plate, but a swing and a miss, and Victor is out of there. And 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers in the 8th. Ball game. The White Sox batting, and the Tigers. Matt Boyd tonight. Well, 7 innings, 8 hits, only 2 runs. And Gibby, I would say that Mr. Boyd continues to pitch really well down the stretch.
Yeah, he did. He showed up tonight. You can see the numbers right there. Really in command. Only 1 walk. That's what you like to see. Pretty much had his way. The White Sox had eked 2 runs out on him, but he never lost his composure. Kept the Tigers in the game. However, he's going to give way to Buck Farmer. First game back since completing his season down in AAA. However, he does have some games so far with the Tigers previously, earlier in the year.
Tim Anderson will lead it off. It'll be the top of the order for the White Sox. Anderson, Saladino, and Cabrera.
I really like what Brad's doing here as well, getting other guys involved, giving his horses some rest. It's not, you can only push those guys so hard. It's not like you're giving up. These Buck Farmers and Kyle Ryan and Blaine Hardy, these guys all throw the ball well too, and you're going to have more depth as you get into the stretch run.
2 balls and 1 strike. Anderson a single and 3 at bats.
Buck Farmer's a guy, if he can get rolling here, he can throw multiple innings should the Tigers tie it up.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Farmer's a kid that I watched a couple years ago in AAA, and he's got good stuff. Just has to realize he belongs here, and he's got to relax and use his stuff. You can see he's yanked 3 pitches over there to the glove side. Got to make the adjustment.
Saladino is waiting on deck. You see 3-2, and he missed outside. Ball 4, leadoff man on. Follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Sometimes when you're young, you kind of try not to make a mistake, and sometimes it works against you. I mean, Buck's got good sinking fastballs. You can just focus on keeping it down in the zone. He'll be fine.
See if Saladino is thinking bunt up there. Third baseman Jones on the cut of the grass. Farmer came up originally in 2014. In that season, he started the year at West Michigan in the Midwest League.
That's a big jump. Low A all the way to the bigs.
No sign of bunt there. It's a strike on the outer edge.
Joe McEwing going through the signs over there in the third base box for the White Sox. Gives a lot of them and quick.
Runner goes. He shows bunt. It'll bounce in and no throw. Saltamalakia could not handle it. Anderson will scoot to second. Stolen base for Anderson is his 8th.
Actually did not have a very good jump right there. Buck gave Salty a good chance right here. I don't know what happens. Doesn't catch it cleanly. Anderson on to second.
Oh, no, just right there.
Now Buck will step off. Farmer called up yesterday. Now he wants Saltamalakia to head out to the mound. Buck last year made 5 starts for the Tigers, appeared in 14 games. He's been up with the big club now parts of each of the last 3 years. It's only the second at bat of the night for the White Sox with a man in scoring position. Showing bunt, and he drops it foul. One ball, 2 strikes on Saladino. Cabrera waiting on deck.
Well, it looks like Saladino's going to run him over. The Tigers are, you see the alignment. Miggy's not in. He's expecting him to bunt at third base because obviously White Sox want the third baseman to for Kobe Jones to field it, although there are 2 strikes.
Little chopper back to the mound. Farmer checks the runner. So Saladino is out, 1 gone.
Offense tonight combined 4 for 22 with runners on base. Not know if the pitching's been that good or the hitters have not fared so well tonight either way.
Here's Melky Cabrera, singled in the 6th, 1 for 3. Tigers trying to keep this a 2-0 game because in the 9th inning they've got Martinez and Upton. And it's their first 2 batters. Way inside, 1-0. White Sox have their closer warming up, Robertson.
See him in the background right there.
Although you can make an argument that Jones was their closer tonight if they end up winning this game with the heavy lifting he had to do.
Yeah, with the bases loaded, came in, got out of the inning, no damage. It is tough. You saw that last sinker Buck Farmer threw. Really moved a lot at the last bit. That's very hard to control because you got to find your release point. Get this ground ball, get another out, get out of here.
Down the left field line, but foul. Upton gave it a look. 2-1 on Melky Cabrera. They've got their cleanup hitter Abreu waiting on deck.
Got to keep that run off the board. The Tigers will have JD, J up. Ibar scheduled to hit. Get a guy on, tie this game up.
High, would not chase. 3-1. Boyd went the first 7. Farmer here in the 8th allowed a walk and a steal. And he missed it outside, ball 4. That'll put 2 men on.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Happened in the 2nd inning for the Chicago White Sox. Right now it stands as the game winner. Jose Abreu took Matt Boyd deep. There's a no-doubter. Tigers have not been able to overcome that initial home run and 1-0 lead so far. Buck Farmer in a bit of a mess, first and second. 1 out.
You got the cleanup man as well. Abreu standing in.
Good guy for a double play.
He is hitting to the most this year of any White Sox hitter. He is 2 out of 3 tonight. Single to go this homer. And Abreu looks at a ball inside. 1-0.
Come on, kid. Got to get it under control here. Get this game slowed down, make you a good pitch, get out of the inning.
That's in there. A strike called. 1-1.
Hey, you better watch Anderson over there at second base. He's kind of gauging Farmer. Farmer is really thinking about slowing himself down and throwing a strike. Sometimes that makes you susceptible to the steal. See Cabrera behind him at first, looking him over.
Rolled foul. 1-2 now on Abreu. Frazier on deck. Indians lost tonight. Tigers a chance to gain a game on the first place Indians. Now the 1-2. He missed it inside. Whoa, that was close.
Didn't get the call, but when you're not in the strike zone consistently, you're less apt to get those calls. See Cabrera here and Anderson. You're always keeping the eye on that lead runner. A lot of communicating goes on from eye to eye, little hand signals. Watch me, point to your eyes, watch me.
Again, he went inside. That one missed a little bit more. Now the count goes 3-2. Starting him here?
I would. The big boy's going. You got a 2-0 lead. What do you have to lose? Stay out of the double play. Again, I'm sitting in the booth. It's very easy for me to say that. Not going.
Fouled away. And those double play numbers, one of the big reasons why you consider it. We mentioned that Abreu has hit into a ton of double plays this year.
Was it 18?
18 of them. Hardy's still warming in the Tigers bullpen. And again, the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ooh, is that a big out?
He got good stuff. He throws over the plate. He's tough to connect on. Battle back in this count right here. Watch this ball explode. Good movement at the end. Schulte wants it away. You see it just runs, sinks down and in. Got an out to go though to get out of this. See, I would have had us out of the inning from up here in the booth. If he was running right there, he'd been toast.
So now here's Todd Frazier. Frazier's had a tough night. He's 0 for 3, couple of punch outs. And he looks at a ball high, 1-0.
This would be Farmer's last batter should Frazier get on, I would believe. Got the left-handed hitting Garcia.
Farmer easily could have gotten that last call, but did not.
Actually, he's not a lefty.
Swing and a miss. 95 from Farmer.
Looks like he's relaxing a little bit. Ball's coming out a little better. Finding the strikes out a bit more.
Well, he walked the leadoff man. You see more action now in Noah and Robertson. Walk, a steal, but it's kind of settled in now. As Frazier watches one bounce in and away, and the runners will move up. Second and third now.
You know it would come in if they scored 2 here and there was no safe situation. See, Salty go down and try and block that pitch. Bounces off at an angle. Got to get in there, Buck, cover that base. See Salty looking to make sure there's no peak going on up there by Frazier.
Here's the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Frazier with Avi Garcia on deck. Wild pitch has moved both runners into scoring position. Had a rip, now 3-2. Again, the Tigers in the top of the 9th will have J.D. Martinez, Justin Upton, and Eric Ibar due up.
There'll be big pitch right here for Buck and the Tigers.
Fought that one off. Farmer has gone to a 3-ball count on 4 of the 5 hitters he has faced in this inning, and because of that, he's about to throw his 29th pitch.
Well, he's the starter. He's got a lot more left in him. Let's tie it up. Frazier, 4 runners in scoring position, only 167 this season. Worst in Major League Baseball, minimum 100 at bats. Should have said that.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Didn't matter. So Farmer strikes out a pair. They strand 2, and we go to the 9th. Chicago 2-0 White Sox have the lead. And David Robertson, the closer for Chicago, coming in.
57th game, 33 out of 40 only. So he's vulnerable. 63 strikeouts, 29 walks. Tigers got to get after him, get a guy on, get a couple guys on, and get a bomb.
Here's the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet for the finale tomorrow. It's going to be Anibal Sanchez going for the Tigers and Jose Quintana. He's a good one for the Sox.
It'll be a good matchup. Tigers want to get the series win.
Day baseball here tomorrow from Chicago, but we've got 3 more outs for the Tigers here as J.D. Martinez will lead things off. J.D. a single, a couple of strikeouts in this game. Swing and a miss. First one up at the letters of J.D. Robertson ready with the 0-1. And he missed high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. 2-0 Sox here in the 9th. That'll miss inside and low. 2-1 now on J.D. They play him deep in the outfield, back on the infield, slightly to pull as well.
Probably going to get a fastball here. 2-1, doesn't want to go 3-1. Going to probably challenge J.D. in this situation.
Driven deep to left field, down the line. It is a fair ball. It's gone, a home run. J.D. stopped at first and thought it was going to hit foul.
We might have a dispute here.
And Robin Ventura, as J.D. takes the tour, coming out immediately. Right now it's a 2-1 ball game. Now the umpires will convene.
They're going to see if somebody saw something different.
Right down the line, it looked like Martinez thought it was going foul.
Yeah, Adam Hamari made the call, and they're going to talk it over. They're going to look at it regardless, I believe. It looked like it was foul from where we were sitting.
Yeah.
Foul ball.
Yeah, it's foul ball.
It's a good adjustment Major League Baseball has made. JD's got to get the bat. Brad can come out and challenge, though.
Yeah, they're going to look at this, but you can clearly tell. You know it's fair when you see the ball disappear beyond or behind the foul pole, and it didn't disappear.
Yeah, you always look for the white ball. Does it go in front of the yellow or behind it? It's clearly in front of the pole, and that's a foul ball. It's worth the try. JD was thinking right there. 2-1 count in favor of JD, and he got the head up. We're going to take a look at the scoreboard.
The other question is, did it hit the pole? And if it did, it barely scraped it because the ball didn't change trajectory.
Yep, it's pretty grainy when you blow it up. That's what New York's going to have to decide. It may have nicked it. It looked like it could have changed direction. So it was ruled a fair ball.
They ruled it, yeah.
Now they overruled that. They got together and ruled it a foul ball. And then I believe Brad may have said something. Did it hit the pole? That's kind of what we're looking at. Here's the ball. Now if we can zoom in. Did it nick the pole? Foul ball.
Foul ball is called. So JD Martinez circles the bases for nothing.
Well, just getting ready to do it for real.
If he does it for real, he'd probably be the first guy in the history to circle the bases twice on a home run.
If he does it for real, he should be able to just touch the plate and go in the dugout. He already did it.
2-2 is the count. On JD, we'll just straighten out a little bit here. And he just got a piece to stay alive. Well, for a split second, it was a 2-1 ball game. Here's Upton waiting on deck.
Yeah, the breaks just haven't went the Tigers' way tonight. They've had opportunities. They've been so good at it. We showed the montage and highlight film for our open today. We're looking for a couple more highlights right now.
Outside, and the count now 3-2.
I think he's going to get another heater here. You're Robertson, you don't want to mess around.
Line drive on one hop. Oh, what a play by Anderson. And he is safe at first base. Anderson, another spectacular play, but JD beat it out.
This one may get replayed. They're looking as well at this one. Seems now everything gets replayed. This is a great play. Look at Anderson. Lays out. Perfectly timed. JD gets on the line pretty good.
This kid's made some unbelievable plays.
Good strong arm over the top. That was close.
They're not going to challenge it. Really, that's just as good as a home run. Tigers need a long ball here anyway to tie it up. Leadoff man is on. Here is Upton. Seventh hit of the ball game for the Tigers. Upton looks at a ball inside 1-0.
Wouldn't it be something?
Well, 7 of the Tigers' hits are singles. Time to go deep. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's the 1-800 call. Sam called the game. It happened last night in the 11th inning. I said I liked it. He had a great call here. Jay up with a great result. Just gave the Tigers the win last night. 1-5-3. Amazing. He's up again.
He has been up in some huge spots the last 2 weeks. He's delivered a lot.
And delivered, yep. Hang it. Now, where JD was getting the heaters, I'm not so sure J-Up's going to get the fastball. He may, but Robertson's going to have to pitch a lot different with the tying run to the plate. I don't think that J-Up doesn't think he's going to do this job right here. Guarantee you he does.
In there, a strike call.
Ball's inside. The cutter never got back, however. 2-2 count.
It's a ball.
Yeah, it is a ball.
That's a 3-1 count instead of 2-2 if he got the call.
Well, he's doing the best he can back there. I mean, we'll bellyache a little bit, though, won't we?
It's our job.
It is.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Justin Upton. Now Robertson stepping off.
Attaboy. Game within the game here.
Well, the closer for the White Sox not been particularly strong against the Tigers this year. In 7 games, an ERA of over 5. A whip of about 1.5. So they've gotten to their closer.
So, you know, thinking of the mentalities here, Robertson's probably thinking, got to be really careful. And J-Up's probably thinking, remember that one I just hit. Cut her in again.
Fought it off.
That's a good foul off right there. He fouled the breaking ball off before last night's home run. That was a good pitch there. It was a ball, but because of the previous call, he had to protect.
Ibar on deck. Leadoff single by JD Martinez. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. J-Up is down on strikes. 1 gone. That'll bring up Ibar. Ibar getting his first at bat came on as a pinch runner for McGee, who had singled in the 7th. Eric then stayed in the game defensively.
Sorry, I was over here wrestling my headset.
Everything okay over there? Ibar looks at a ball outside. 1-0. Two 2-0. Sox have the lead. We're in the 9th inning. 1 on, 1 out. Ibar looks at ball 2.
Robertson actually tougher on lefties than righties on the year, 219 to 250. So again, the Tigers, Ibar with the 2-0 count. Just keep the line moving. Try and go deep, usually dip that back shoulder and he hit the fly ball.
Inside again, 3-0. Robertson has 33 saves this year, but he's blown 7. There's Saltalamacchia waiting on deck. He's gotten him earlier this year. And he pinch hit homer. And he walked him way inside, and now the tying runs are on. Ventura coming out now of the Sox dugout. Fans, be sure to stick around after the game for Tigers Live postgame. Fox Sports Detroit will debut the first spot in our new When We Watch Together campaign. Coming up after the conclusion of this one here in Chicago. We've got a long way to go. Tigers now have 2 on.
Salty's up. How many times has he done it this year, huh?
He's got the White Sox twice this season, including Robertson in a pinch hitting role.
Well, we got the perfect guy up there, perfect situation. Again, trying to add to that highlight reel. Kobe Jones behind him.
Collins has moved on deck now.
Yep, Tyler Collins is on deck.
Here is Saltalamacchia. And he takes the ball inside, 1-0.
Now, if you can, you want to look right down the middle. What we call keyholing. It's like you're looking through a keyhole in a door. It's not in there, you don't offer. Robertson's betting that the aggressiveness of the Tiger hitters, that he's going to win out, but Salty's doing a heck of a job right here. Got to give in here. Nope, something more off speed.
Salty skies into the air, pocket straight up. Infield fly rule as Abreu camps under it, and Salty is out of there, 2 gone.
Well, he's got 20 pitches, virtually over half are balls. So if we're at the Tigers, you don't want to swing at a bad pitch. Again, Robertson trying to use the Tigers' aggressiveness against them. Could have another pitch hitter. It's going to be Tyler Collins.
And it was Collins that connected for a pinch hit home run in July here against Robertson. See if he can do it again. 2 on, 2 outs. Tyler looks at a strike.
The ball is well. Not getting the favorable calls, are we?
Generous.
Come on, Tommy.
Collins pops it up foul, back out of play. Now the count is 0-2. Tigers down to the final strike. Robertson runs up a new baseball. Collins 2 out of 7 as a pinch hitter this year with that home run against Robertson.
Not going to be a strike.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the White Sox hold on to win. Final score in this one, Chicago 2, the Tigers nothing. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. John Keating standing by with Tigers Live postgame.